How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we got another community questions video for you guys. These are the ones where I put a question on my community section on YouTube. You guys answer that. There's a little poll as well just to get you guys interacted, but the comments is what it's all about. So on there today I put the question: what is or was your worst RuneScape experience? This could be something that made you quit for a long time, or for example, personally, mine was the removal of free trade. I absolutely hated free trade being taken off. I thought it was such a crazy thing to do. Of course, it was to combat like real world trading, as I do believe it got really out of hand at this point. However, this changed RuneScape so much because with it they had to change the wilderness, they had to change so much different stuff, and it just kind of changed the game a hell of a lot. People weren't happy, a lot of people quit. I think I took a long break until it came back. But you know what? We're not here for my story, we're here for your story. So let's get in the comments, let's take a look at what you guys say was your worst RuneScape experience, and we'll have a bit of a talk about it. If you enjoy this video, do leave a like on it, do subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you don't get picked, don't panic, you may get picked in the next one. Just have to get involved in the next question that'll go up at some point in the near future, and maybe you'll get into that one. Let's take a look at the first comment, shall we? Okay, our first comment is from Martin, and you said, this could be a good warning for people. I double deathed and lost a full setup, including my Eldritch crossbow. Remember to pay death. If you don't and die again, your items are wiped from existence. That is so unfortunate. So basically, if you don't pay death, you get a grave, and on your grave is where all your items are that you couldn't keep. So you protect 3 items. So I'm really not sure what you protect to go with the ECB. Maybe this was back when the ECB wasn't 3 bill. But besides the point, if you die again, then your grave gets wiped and replaced to where you died on the second time. So if you somehow could die on the way back to your grave, then you're going to lose everything at that grave to begin with. However, I'm really not sure how you died on the way to your grave. If you could let me know in the comments, because I know you watch these videos, Martin. I really would be quite interested in finding out like the actual story to this. How did you lose the ECB, and then also how did you die on the way back? Because obviously I do believe you. I've been trying to work it out in my head, and I just can't freaking work it out. There must be somewhere that you've gone, and there's been something that's killed you on the way back. But honestly, I can't figure it out. So if you could let me know, that'd be super interesting to hear about. But that is so unfortunate. Like, that is so freaking unfortunate. I really hope that the ECB loss was not when it was 3 bill like now. I really hope it was back when it was like 900 mil, because that's a little bit easier to replace than now. But either way, damn, that is absolutely unfortunate as hell. The next comment says, over 800 Raksha kills and no spike, divert, Grico or G-chain. Going dry at a boss sucks. Oh man, I hate when you get unlucky at Raksha. It's so bad to like I'm not gonna say that. I know I'm not gonna say that, but that's so unfortunate, dude. I would actually be so sad if I got 800 kills at Raksha without a real drop, because let's be honest, the boots aren't a real drop. They're so cheap, it's not even funny. But those are the real drops, and you've not had a single one of them. That is so unfortunate, and I hope by the time this video comes out that you've had at least, like, you know, 1 or 2 of these things. Hopefully both of them being greater ricochets if you do get 2. But dude, that is so unfortunate, and I hope your luck does change. A lot of people are like this with this boss. It is really weird. Sometimes people are ridiculously lucky. Like, it seems like there's no middle ground. There's no people getting average luck here. It seems like someone's got like all the drops, me kind of, and then there's people that like getting absolutely nothing until your kill count. For example, you're at 800, you've only got boots and probably the pet, I assume. But dude, that is so unfortunate. Hopefully your luck's changed. You'll have to let me know in the comments if it has. The next comment says, my worst experience in RuneScape was losing friends to time. This is something I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate with. If you've played over time, like a good long time in this game, you will have made friends that you've played with almost every day, and you did bossing with, you did other things with, leveling up your accounts, and just spending a lot of time with. Maybe you're in the same clan, maybe you hung out in the same friends chat, but you would have made good friends, and you would have been always talking to them and doing stuff. And one day, they just wouldn't have logged in, and you wouldn't have thought anything of it, right? Because it's only one day, you know, they could just be out, they could be doing this, could be doing that, and then the next day they don't log in, and then the next day, and the next day, and then suddenly you realize, wait, they might have taken a break, they might have just gone, and they've not said freaking anything, they've just disappeared. And this is actually something that happens all the time, because people do that. You just wake up one morning and you're like, I'm not playing today, nah, I'm just not playing. Or maybe circumstances change, maybe they've lost their internet, and they've gone a month or 2 without any internet, and then they just don't bother coming back because it's been that long, they've not come in. Or people get jobs, people get families, people like move freaking countries. Like, it all happens. I used to have a group of friends that I played with every single day. There was 4 of us, and of course now each of those players, all 3 of them, has stopped playing. Now, this is not because they don't enjoy the game. One of them has moved to old school RuneScape, but I think he may even be taking a break from that at the moment. One of them is going through university, so he does not have the time to play properly. And then the other one has just vanished into thin air. He is just gone. He is absolutely disappeared. But yeah, this definitely does happen to a lot of people. Let me know in the comments, have you guys ever had this sort of thing happen to you as well? Have you lost some friends just randomly out of nowhere that just disappeared? But hey, you never know. Everyone knows the saying, you never quit RuneScape, you just take a break. So maybe these guys will be back one day. Maybe you'll see that name is logged in and you'll be like, what the hell? And then you'll message them and that'll be that. Who knows? The next comment is from Linkmaster Gaming, and you say, crappy people being toxic about my gear. Back then, gold was harder to come by and I got made fun of for having Nubia gear. And also, during that time I got scammed at the Duel Arena, quickly switched certain items on and off, and lost my dragon armor. That is super unfortunate, but also, I know exactly what you mean, dude. I was in the same boat as you about the gear, because the amount of time that I got to play on average was so freaking bad back then, and I was so bad at making money. I literally spent my time trying to figure out how to make money, rather than just doing stuff to make money. I was one of those people that never leveled my account because it didn't make money. I was one of those people that was like, I'm not doing quests because that doesn't make me money and get me the items that I wanted. And then whenever I did run into some money, I wouldn't have anything to spend it on because I wouldn't have the levels to use the stuff that I wanted to buy. It was all crazy. But I was one of those people, and I had low, crappy gear as well. I think the gear that I used the most was like rune armor if I was using melee, or things like dragon hide if I was using like range and stuff like that. But it was always so bad. But I used to camp places like King Black Dragon for money as well with friends, and we always both had like the worst gear doing it. People used to crash you at that point. There wasn't any instances, so people would come in and people would crash you at King Black Dragon, and they would always have like best in slot. I think it was like Chaotix and Bandos armor or something like that. And there was us in our rune crossbows and our black dragon hide thinking we were absolutely amazing until we got crashed by one person. It was so freaking bad, dude. But I completely agree. There was plenty of toxic people about gear and stuff. It doesn't seem to happen as much anymore, which is kind of a good thing. And as for the Duel Arena scams, well, we all know that's still freaking going. It's unfortunate that you lost your dragon armor though. Depending when that was, that could have been actually worth a decent amount. The next comment comes from Mr. L, and you say, lost all my stuff to a password scammer except for one item worth around about 1 mil. Used to buy cheap gear to get a D clause drop in just a few minutes. Made more off of the clause than I lost from the scam. Okay, so I'm assuming the gear that you've got was probably PKing gear, and you've killed someone and got a drop that way, possibly, back in the day when D claws were actually worth having. But if not, it could have been tormented demons, I suppose. But dragon claws were so freaking expensive back in the day. I remember finally getting my hands on some, and it was like I don't know, it was something that everybody wanted to get. But the fact that you lost your stuff to a password scammer is super unfortunate. There were so many things going around back in the day. I don't know how far back this was. Obviously, it was quite a while ago if D-claws were a thing that was worth more than anything else. But there were so many different things going around to steal passwords, to get you to like give them stuff like your account details for recovery, all that sort of stuff. And I'm glad that you got to keep your account at least. That is obviously such a good thing. People used to do stuff like telling you that if you typed your password into chat, Jagex would automatically block it, so that when people typed it, it would come up and then they had your password as soon as you logged out to go and change that. Because I'm sure back in the day you had to be logged out to change your password. But as soon as you did that, they would log in, take all your stuff, and by the time your password's been changed, it didn't matter, they already got your stuff and it was already all gone. But hey, at least you sort of jumped on, got super lucky and got a D-clause drop like straight away. That's absolutely awesome to hear. The next comment says, I got lured for around a bill because I lost my internet connection. Frick that. If I lost like 1 bill just to like a lure or something like that, I would be so sad. I would be so absolutely fuming. But I've seen the videos on YouTube of people getting lured for like party hats and stuff. In the Soul Walls portal, I think it's Soul Walls, where you go in and you go through the portal and then there's people there camping ready to smack you on the head. Like, I've seen that, but if I was one of those people that lost that much stuff, I would not be happy. However, you say you lost your internet connection. Are you sure you didn't get DDoSed or like hit offline? Because that's something a lot of people did. If you'd ever been in Skype with them, or if they had any way of getting your IP address, that could have been what happened. If it happened at the perfect moment for you to lose all your stuff, then you definitely could have just been hit offline or DDoSed, because it happened way too much back in the day. Our next comment comes from Ruby, and he said, worst ever was that people tried to hack everything from me, and we're talking about RuneScape account, email, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, everything. I lost my old Twitter account and my old Snapchat account, but the aim was my RuneScape bank. Luckily for me, I can only log into RuneScape with a name and not an email, so that saved me. But it was scary shit. Even Mort held my blue for like a week just to be safe. I assume Mort is a friend of yours that held your blue party hat for a while, but damn dude, this would be absolutely terrifying. So they tried hacking literally everything, didn't they? Email, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, literally everything that you ever had. They tried to get it all. They did get your Twitter and your Snapchat. Damn, that's so unfortunate. But I don't understand, like, that's so much stuff to do just to get into a bank. Like, I know you had a blue party hat, and I know that's like super expensive, and they were probably just gonna trade it onto the black market and get cash for it, but that is insane. Thank frick that your account is logged in with a name. For anyone who doesn't know, for any of the new players watching, if you played like back in the day, like a long time ago before they had an email registered with your account, you could actually only log in with your username. Now these days, that actually makes your account more secure in my opinion, because you have a username to log in and not the email address. The email that you've got can be compromised quite a lot more than the old, probably stupid name that you made back in the past with some very random weird name that you've got there, and it makes it a lot harder for people to get into your account, because even if they do get your email address, they still don't have your login, as it doesn't match your in-game name. Assuming that you've changed name, of course. But guys, honestly, take this as a warning. Always make sure that you've got your authenticator set up properly, making sure that you have like your account fully secured. Make sure you've got a bank pin on there. Make sure it's set to the longest duration to be reset, so that if you do get locked out, you've got a lot longer to get back into your account than the 3 days I think it is set to by default. Never let anybody have your RuneScape email. You could probably use like a separate email address for your RuneScape account, and you can still change this if it's not too late. So your login will be the same one as what you've made it with. However, you can change your registered email, and if you can change that to a different one, then that's super helpful as well, because if that registered email gets taken and they see your login for your emails, they can't log into your account because it's a different email address to log in with. So keep in mind all these sort of things. Make sure your account is definitely secured, because people are still stealing accounts, because RuneScape gold and stuff still has a value. So definitely get that stuff locked up and make sure that you've got it all secure, because no one wants you to lose all your stuff. Our next comment says the addition of Squeak of Fortune, then its replacement Treasure Hunter. Solomon's store was a great addition though, but the oddment store, if you got oddments for skilling or bossing only, then it would have been great, but no. It's just another layer of monetization that doesn't necessarily feel MTX. This is actually super true, and I agree with pretty much everything you said in here. The addition of Squeak of Fortune was one that I logged into one day and I was like, what the hell is this? Like, it was just there. Obviously, it probably would have been in patch notes and stuff, but back then I had no reason to follow the patch notes. I didn't even know what patch notes was, probably, let's be honest. And I logged in, Squeak of Fortune was just there, and I was like, what? Why am I getting offered this stuff to buy like spins and get free stuff? This just doesn't seem right. I didn't like it straight away, so it was just definitely something I wasn't happy with. Treasure Hunter these days is pretty much the same. It's just a little bit less like gambly, I guess, like a little bit less with the promotions and stuff. However, back then it was ridiculous. You could get like 12 coins. It would advertise that you could get these amazing items like dragon claws and all that sort of stuff, but it was pretty much like 12 coins or a small lamp. It was terrible. 100% was there just to make you spend money. You mentioned about the Solomon store being a great addition. This was all purely cosmetics. I think it still is at the moment. There's little bank boosters and stuff, but usually they're free for membership anyway. And I agree, I like the Solomon store. I think it's a cool thing that they definitely were fine adding, and it doesn't have any like actual pay to win in it. It came with auras as well, so auras are cool. And I really liked the loyalty point system to it, so that's absolutely great. As for the oddment store, yeah, no, this is just another way to get people to buy keys, because when you buy keys, you unlock your freaking treasure chests, you get your oddments from it, and then you can get more stuff from the oddment store. So yes, it is just another way to do it, but at the same time, I kind of like the oddment store these days, because there's a lot of stuff on there that's super helpful, like getting your Silverhawk feathers to make sure you can just do agility and it's nice and cheap. Spending the oddments that you get from your daily keys, or like saving them all up and then spending them on the lamps when they're 75 oddments each, can be definitely a time saver as well. So yeah, it's kind of like in between here and there with the oddments, but like you say, it just doesn't necessarily feel MTX when really it kind of is. Okay, we'll make this our last comment, and you guys, I've actually had a few people say like, why do you do 9? Why don't you do 10? That's so frustrating. For you guys that didn't notice, there's literally always 9 comments in these, not on purpose. It just seems to be like the natural ending point. I don't want to make it stupidly too long, but I like it being a little bit long because you guys listen to it in the background. So it always ends up being about 9 comments. And this one says, as odd as it sounds, the graphical update made me quit for a while. When they first transitioned from the RS2 to RS3 graphics, not because I disliked the graphics, but the PC I had at the time couldn't handle them. Even in minimum, I lagged hardcore and crashed frequently. I actually had the same problem with this, but I could still play, but I had to go like to absolute minimum settings to play, and it looked like absolute crap because the computer that I did have just wasn't that good. And even though it ran the other version absolutely fine, this one just did not like it at all. But it was okay because I could still feed my addiction. It's super unfortunate that you couldn't play at all. It was fine for me. It just looked like, do you know that mess? Do you know that absolute like non-textured color blended mess? That was me pretty much. But that's so unfortunate. If only mobile would have been out at the time, you could have just maybe switched from PC to mobile for a while. I know a lot of people at the moment are playing on mobile because they don't have access to a computer, or their computer they do have just isn't good enough, so they just go to mobile and they play on there instead, which is perfectly fine and makes sense, and it's kind of convenient having that like available to people that don't have access to the computer. Alright, so as I said, that brings us to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope that you did find it interesting. And if you did, then don't forget there's a like button that you can click, and that does help me out. It helps me out a lot. So get down there and do give that a click. And also, if you're new to the channel, don't forget that you can subscribe as well, so you get notifications and you get fed my videos whenever I do upload. So other than that, thank you all very much to my channel members. You guys are absolutely awesome. I really appreciate the extra support that you guys do give, and it is absolutely awesome. Thank you all again so much. Your names will be on screen now. If anyone else is interested in seeing what perks these guys get while they are supporting the channel, then do click the join button, buy that sub button, and you can have a look there. Also, a few final mentions. There is a Twitch link in the description if you're interested in following me on Twitch, where I do record quite a lot of my videos live there as well. And finally, if you want to join my clan in-game and get involved in the community in another way as well, then we are still recruiting. You can guest in the clan called the Inits, and you can ask for an invite by pretty much anyone there at this point. Anyone who's got rank higher than recruit, you can absolutely get in there and ask them for an invite. Anyone is welcome, any levels, free to play, member, whatever it is, you're all welcome. Get in there if you want to get involved. But anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you all in the next one. See you later, guys. Bye.